Welcome back to another junk journal video with me. I've been so excited to collect bits for my journal recently. Everywhere's looking really festive and Christmassy, and it's just my absolute favourite time of year to collect bits for my journal. I absolutely had to bring this Starbucks cup home. I loved it. I loved the ribbon and the bow design. The colours as well were absolutely gorgeous. And they left this really sweet note on the cup as well, which I thought was lovely. And I also couldn't resist bringing this home, this gorgeous reusable cup. I always really love Christmassy illustrations of buildings and things, so I thought that would be a really sweet thing to bring home. I also picked up this catalogue from Gerald's, which, if you know Norwich, it's the department store of the city, and they just had a really gorgeous Christmas design this year for their catalogue. It had all of these little festive features, you know, the leaves and the berries and little baubles. I actually used some in a previous spread that I did last week. I used some of my patterned hole punches to cut some out, and I just absolutely loved the way they looked, so I thought I would feature some of those. These are my two shaped hole punches. There's like a square scalloped one and a more floral circular one. I actually only ordered one, but they sent me both, which is really lovely. So they're lovely things to add to my collection. And I just find them really useful to go through, especially because they're not just the stamps where you have to slide it in from the side of the page. You know, you can do it from anywhere, which I find really helpful. But I was just going through the pages and finding any little festive bits that I thought would be lovely to add to the pages. I really loved these sort of retro vintage hand designs that they had going on. I thought they would be really fun to sort of hold up little bits and in my journal, little designs of things. I got some tissue paper from when I bought something, so I thought this would be a really nice background. Just like a simple, nothing too busy, but just a little nod to their design, and I thought that was a really nice addition. Although, looking back on it now, I think the placement of it could have been a bit better because a lot of the design gets covered, but that's okay. You don't know these things until you start doing it. I'm just using my tape roller to glue this down. It is my favourite thing to use. I always just find glue sticks really messy, and I think these are perfect. They're really easy to travel with. I love them. And they pretty much stick everything apart from sort of really plasticky oil-based papers. I just wanted to separate the back from the cup design just to make it thinner in my journal so it doesn't get quite as bulky, and it's just easier to stick down and easier for it to fold in the middle. This actually came off really easy. I was quite surprised. Usually you put a little bit on the corner and then it just rips, so I was very happy with that. That worked well. So here I'm just playing around a little bit with the design, figuring out where I want it to be. I kind of liked the idea of it sort of falling off the page a little bit, and then just playing around with a couple of the other bits that I knew I wanted on the spread. This is the little sticker that you get on the cup that says your order and just what you got, and I always like to keep those. I just think that's a nice memory thing to add to your journal. These are some of the hands that I cut out throughout the catalogue, and I just thought they would be really fun to sort of look like they were coming out of the cup and they were holding these different features, you know, the presents and the baubles and everything, and my label, my sticker for my coffee order. I also love how the colours on the bottom of the hands really tie in well with the colour of the cup, which I thought was really fun. And lots of the greens and reds as well tie in with the cup from the magazine. So I just love it when all of your junk sort of comes together and works well. in the colour scheme, that's just always a good day. I landed on keeping it sort of a little bit falling off the page because I thought that was just a really nice asymmetrical design for the spread. And then now I'm just sort of organising where I want the hands to be. I left the biggest space for the biggest ones, and then just fiddled around with what I wanted them each to hold and having them overlap a little bit. This is really fun as well, having them be the different shapes and the different things on them. It's almost like the hands are actually holding up a gift or holding up these little berries or a bit of holly. I just think that's really graphic looking and really fun. It's almost as if as well that it's like presenting my coffee order for that day, you know, holding it up with this very graphic looking hand. I think that's a lot of fun. Spreads like this are also really great for weeks when I just haven't really collected a lot of junk or ephemera. You know, if I haven't really been traveling or been out and about that much and I don't have that many things I've collected from my week. This is a really nice way to still be able to do a whole spread and get creative and do something fun, even when you haven't been to loads of different places and picked up lots of bits and bobs. You know, it's just an easy way to still play about with some paper and get creative. I loved these hands that were holding the bottles, but they just really weren't, I couldn't figure out how they were going to work in the spread. I think they will be great for some other spreads later down the line, but for now, I think more of just these, the smaller hands with the sort of fingers pinching, I think are going to be the best ones. And then hopefully I can maybe design some other spreads around the bigger flat hands, because I think they would be really fun. I've just popped this one here, almost as though it's holding up the little message box. I just thought that was really sweet, the warm wishes in every sips. I always like when they leave a little message on your cup, it just really makes you smile. I know this seems like such a small feature, but there were lots of these little stars printed throughout the catalogue, which I thought were really sweet and lots of different colours, so I thought they would be really fun just to make the background pop a little bit, and again just incorporate some of these colours to sort of tie all the spread together. They get a bit fiddly to cut out, but these scissors are absolutely amazing for this kind of thing. I think they're like sewing thread scissors. I think I got them a few years ago from a haberdashery, but they are perfect for cutting out little bits of paper, so I would really recommend those. They get really sort of the tiny corners and the edges they're really useful for. It did occur to me afterwards that I could have just cut these stars out and also flipped them, like this side had the green on the back. I think that would have been really nice as well, just sort of added a bit more contrast to the page. But it's always in hindsight, isn't it, when you notice these things. I still love how it turned out. I'm really pleased with it. yeah, that's the finished spread. I just love how everything ties in together, and it's a really lovely memory of just a slightly nice thing to do throughout the week, going and getting a coffee and having a wander around a shop. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!